Picture this. It's March 15th, 2024, at 4:37 in the morning. The Gulf of Aden lies shrouded in darkness, its waters black as midnight and thick with the scent of salt and burning diesel. The horizon melts into nothingness under a moonless sky, and in these treacherous waters, something sinister is about to unfold. 47 battle-hardened Somali pirates, armed to the teeth with military-grade RPG-7 rocket launchers and fully automatic AK-47 assault rifles, launch their attack. Their target? The HMS Merchant Crown, a massive 180-meter British cargo vessel carrying 340 containers of what everyone believed were emergency medical supplies for Allied troops in the Middle East. But this ship was carrying something far more valuable. 12 pirate speedboats, reinforced Zodiac Mk5s, slice through the choppy waters like sharks circling their prey. Each boat carries between 3 to 5 elite fighters, all wearing level 3A ballistic vests and wielding heavy weaponry, including 2 Soviet-era PKM machine guns that can spit out 650 rounds per minute. They surround the merchant vessel in what can only be described as a perfect wolf pack formation. The sound is deafening. Screams in rapid-fire Somali dialect echo through military-grade loudspeakers while armor-piercing rounds ricochet violently off the ship's reinforced steel hull. Inside the vessel, 23 seasoned British sailors, led by Captain James Morrison, a man with 20 years of maritime experience, frantically take defensive positions in the armored command center. As heavily armed pirates scale the towering sides of the ship with military-grade climbing equipment, Captain Morrison grabs the radio with trembling hands. "Mayday, mayday, mayday," he transmits on Channel 16, his voice cracking under the pressure of what could become an international incident. But here's what those pirates didn't know. They had just awakened a sleeping giant. 847 kilometers away, at an ultra-classified British naval facility in Duqm, Oman, a shadow base that officially doesn't exist on any map, 2 state-of-the-art Westland Lynx helicopters roar to life. In just 90 seconds, they're airborne, each carrying 4 elite Royal Marines from the legendary Special Boat Service. At the same time, the HMS Dragon, a billion-dollar floating fortress, changes course at emergency speed, its revolutionary radar systems already locking onto every hostile vessel within 400 kilometers. What happened next would send shockwaves through the pirate world and remind everyone why you never, ever attack a ship flying the Union Jack. At exactly 4:41 a.m., while darkness still cloaked the Gulf like a black blanket, these pirates executed what can only be called a masterpiece of maritime warfare. This wasn't some random attack. This was months of careful planning, sophisticated intelligence gathering, and military-level coordination. The man leading this operation was Abdullahi Shark Hassan, a 34-year-old former Somali Navy lieutenant who commanded his forces from a heavily modified interceptor boat powered by a supercharged Mercury engine capable of hitting 65 knots. Hassan coordinated the entire assault through encrypted radios, his voice cutting through the chaos like a blade. The attack unfolded like a choreographed dance of destruction. 4 boats hit the stern from the southwest, 3 approached the starboard side in a staggered formation, while 5 more converged from the port side in a classic pincer movement. It was an impenetrable nautical siege that would have made ancient naval commanders weep with envy. The first devastating volley erupted at 4:43 when armor-piercing rounds shattered the reinforced bridge windows, sending razor-sharp ballistic glass flying through the command center like deadly confetti. First Officer David Thompson suffered severe lacerations, while Chief Engineer Robert Hayes took a direct hit to his right shoulder. But then, in a moment that would change everything, radio operator Sarah Collins, showing courage that would make lions look timid, successfully transmitted precise GPS coordinates over encrypted British military channels before the pirates could cut the main power. Her desperate 8-second transmission reached combined maritime forces in Bahrain. Merchant Crown under coordinated attack, 47 confirmed hostiles, multiple casualties, requesting immediate emergency extraction. Those 8 seconds would seal the pirates' fate. Here's what those audacious pirates never could have imagined. HMS Merchant Crown wasn't carrying ordinary medical supplies. Hidden within those 340 containers were 12 ultra-classified cargo units containing the most advanced electronic warfare equipment British technology had ever produced. We're talking about sophisticated countermeasure systems worth £340 million, destined for American installations that could tip the balance of power across 3 continents. The British Ministry of Defense had slapped a Strap 1 classification on this cargo, a designation so secret that its compromise could destabilize international intelligence networks spanning the globe. At 4:52, Admiral Sir Benjamin Hayes receives a call that would define his career. The voice on the encrypted line was calm but deadly serious. It was 10 Downing Street calling. The Prime Minister's instructions were crystal clear. Admiral, that vessel must be recovered at all costs. No failures, no compromises, and absolutely no hostile survivors with knowledge of that cargo. Within 4 minutes, the Pentagon's National Military Command Center was briefed. The NSA initiated comprehensive satellite surveillance, and 3 allied nations placed their naval forces on maximum combat alert. Still with me? Good. Because what you're about to witness is why the British Empire has dominated the world's oceans for 4 centuries, and why that dominance remains absolutely unchallenged. At 4:58, Operation Neptune's Trident received official authorization, and let me tell you, this represented one of the most comprehensive rapid response operations since the Falklands War. The arsenal being mobilized was nothing short of terrifying. 2 Westland Lynx helicopters carrying 8 special boat service operators with cutting-edge weapons and armor-piercing ammunition. HMS Dragon activated its Sea Viper defense systems, technology capable of engaging 1,000 aerial targets at 120-kilometer ranges, while its radar could detect objects the size of tennis balls at 400 kilometers away. But wait, there's more. The Astute-class nuclear submarine HMS Ambush, a 1.6 billion-pound underwater predator, surfaced from a classified patrol just 23 kilometers away. This beast carries Tomahawk cruise missiles and sonar systems so advanced they can hear a whale's heartbeat from 100 kilometers away. 2 Eurofighter Typhoon fighters launched from Al Udeid, each capable of Mach 2 speeds and armed with precision missiles that could strike targets from 60 kilometers away with surgical accuracy. Captain Marcus Iron Fist Sterling assumed command and transmitted words that would enter Royal Navy history. Gentlemen, you're about to deliver a message that every pirate from Somalia to Indonesia will hear loud and clear. Nobody attacks British vessels and expects to see another sunrise. The mobilization time? 11 minutes and 34 seconds from distress call to first helicopter airborne. That, my friends, is British military excellence in its purest form. At 5:09, 2 Westland Lynx helicopters emerged from the dawn sky like mechanical angels of death. Their rotors cutting through the humid Gulf air with that distinctive sound that has struck fear into Britain's enemies for decades. Flying just 15 meters above the choppy surface in perfect attack formation, Lieutenant Commander James Falcon Morrison and Lieutenant Sari Viper Davidson executed a textbook pincer approach that caught the pirates completely off guard. Morrison's aircraft opened fire with its pintle-mounted heavy machine gun, a weapon that spits out 1,100 rounds per minute of armor-piercing incendiary ammunition capable of penetrating 25mm steel plate at 1,500 meters. 4 precisely aimed bursts, totaling 47 rounds, each weighing 46 grams and traveling at 884 meters per second, created absolute carnage among the lightweight pirate vessels. In just 23 seconds, 3 enemy boats became sinking funeral pyres with 11 pirates killed instantly and 6 others suffering fatal wounds. The water around them turned crimson as the Gulf of Aden claimed its victims. Meanwhile, Davidson's Lynx executed a precision insertion, fast-roping 4 SBS operators led by Sergeant Ghost Thompson onto the deck of HMS Merchant Crown. These warriors, equipped with night vision and suppressed rifles, eliminated 8 boarded pirates in 90 seconds of textbook close-quarters combat that would have made Special Forces instructors weep with pride. First wave results: 19 pirates sent to meet their maker, 0 British casualties, and partial vessel control recovered. At 5:14, the morning sky erupted with the twin roars of Eurojet engines as 2 Eurofighter Typhoons arrived at Mach 1.2 from 3,000 meters above. Squadron Leader Michael Thunder Hayes and Flight Lieutenant Emma Lightning Price represented 4,000 combined flight hours, spanning operations from Afghanistan to Libya. The airstrike began with 6 precision missiles, each costing 175,000 pounds and equipped with dual GPS and infrared guidance systems. These 49-kilogram weapons of mass destruction carried tandem charge warheads that traveled at 450 meters per second, striking pirate vessels with surgical 30-centimeter precision. Each target simply disappeared. At the same time, HMS Dragon provided naval gunfire support with its main gun, firing 8 rounds of high-explosive projectiles. Each 21-kilogram round contained enough explosive to create a 50-meter lethal fragmentation pattern. Traveling at 875 meters per second with a flight time of 14.7 seconds, the coordinated bombardment eliminated the final 6 pirate boats in just 45 seconds. Results: 23 hostile targets completely destroyed, 15 additional pirates sent to Davy Jones's locker, and 4 survivors floundering in the water like lost souls. At 5:19, HMS Ambush executed an emergency surface maneuver that would have given Poseidon himself chills. This 97-meter nuclear submarine breached the surface like some primordial sea monster rising from the depths, representing the absolute pinnacle of British underwater warfare technology. 8 SBS combat divers launched through torpedo tubes using specialized underwater equipment and rifles designed to kill even beneath the waves. Their 4-minute, 20-second approach through the debris field was like watching apex predators glide through their natural habitat with deadly grace. Sergeant Major Kraken Williams personally captured Abdullahi Shark Hassan at 5:24, emerging from the dark waters like a mythological sea god to render the pirate leader unconscious in just 8 seconds using a specialized chokehold that would have impressed medieval executioners. The remaining 3 survivors were captured with similar efficiency. Third wave results: 4 high-value prisoners secured, complete tactical control established, and still 0 British casualties. But as dawn painted the waters crimson with the blood of pirates, the captured prisoners revealed information that would transform this tactical victory into something far more significant: a strategic operation that would reshape the entire region's security landscape. At 5:31, the interrogation of Hassan by Major Iceman Davidson revealed intelligence that transformed this anti-piracy response into something much bigger: the elimination of a strategic terrorist threat. Hassan's resistance crumbled like a house of cards in a hurricane, exposing a massive fortified base on remote Socotra Island. This wasn't just some pirate hideout. This was a fortress housing 340 additional pirates, 23 high-speed attack craft, 12 Soviet-era mortars, and most alarmingly, 4 Exocet anti-ship missiles illegally acquired through Iranian arms dealers. These ship-killing missiles, with their 165-kilogram warheads and 70-kilometer range, could threaten any vessel in the region and potentially disrupt $3.4 trillion in annual trade flowing through these waters. The base served as a logistics hub for weapons trafficking and terrorism funding across East Africa, creating a nexus of maritime crime and international terrorism that threatened the stability of 3 continents. At 5:47, Admiral Hayes made a career-defining decision that would echo through naval history. This has evolved beyond a rescue operation. We're facing a strategic terrorist threat capable of disrupting international maritime commerce. I want that island completely eliminated. No survivors, no infrastructure, no possibility of reconstitution. HMS Dragon altered course toward the coordinates, while HMS Artful and HMS Astute converged through encrypted underwater routes like sharks sensing blood in the water. At 6:15, the most intensive British naval bombardment since the Falklands began. HMS Dragon fired 47 rounds of high-explosive ammunition over 23 minutes, each projectile containing enough explosive force to level buildings and create 100-meter fragmentation patterns. Advanced fire control systems integrated satellite imagery with ballistic computers, ensuring surgical accuracy that would have made Renaissance artillery masters weep with envy. 3 Astute-class submarines executed a coordinated strike with 18 Tomahawk cruise missiles, each costing $1.87 million and capable of traveling 1,600 kilometers with meter-level accuracy. These sophisticated weapons overwhelmed any air defenses while maximizing destructive effect with their 450-kilogram warheads. The combined bombardment effectively removed Socotra Island as a viable terrorist base. The systematic destruction eliminated all buildings, destroyed equipment, collapsed cave systems, and created uninhabitable crater patterns that looked like the surface of an alien moon. British satellites confirmed the devastating results: 367 enemies eliminated, 4 bases destroyed, entire arsenal neutralized, and 0 survivors detected. Total operation timeline: 2 hours, 38 minutes, and 42 seconds. Operation Neptune's Trident represents the definitive demonstration of how a maritime superpower responds when its interests are threatened. In under 3 hours, the Royal Navy rescued a threatened vessel, eliminated an entire terrorist network threatening trillions in international commerce annually, and secured Allied military operations across multiple theaters. The strategic significance sent unmistakable messages that reverberated around the globe. To Iran, providing advanced weaponry. British intelligence tracks every transfer, and the Royal Navy eliminates threats regardless of their source. To China's growing naval presence, traditional powers retain decisive advantages through superior training, technology, and centuries of hard-won experience. To every terrorist organization worldwide, attacks against British vessels meet swift, overwhelming, and utterly devastating responses. Diplomatic communications delivered simultaneously to Iran, Somalia, Yemen, and 12 regional nations conveyed a unified message that rang out like thunder. Nations providing sanctuary or support to maritime threats will be held directly accountable. Lloyd's of London reduced insurance rates by 23% due to what they called a dramatically improved security environment, saving international shipping $2.8 billion annually. 3 months after the operation, the results spoke for themselves. Pirate attacks dropped from 47 monthly incidents to absolute zero. Commercial shipping resumed normal Suez routes, saving billions in fuel costs. Not a single British vessel suffered even an attempted attack during the subsequent 12 months. This operation established a new maritime security paradigm based on the demonstrated capability to eliminate threats with overwhelming force and surgical precision. This proves that the British Empire's democratic transformation hasn't diminished its commitment to protecting the international maritime system that enables global prosperity. The Royal Navy's ability to project decisive power anywhere on Earth demonstrates that traditional naval powers retain unmatched advantages through superior training, advanced technology, and centuries of hard-won experience. If this story gave you a deeper appreciation for Royal Navy professionalism, technological superiority, and unwavering commitment to international security, hit that like button, subscribe, and activate notifications for weekly coverage of military operations showcasing why Western naval power protects freedom of navigation and international commerce worldwide. Share this with anyone who needs to understand what true naval supremacy looks like in action. Until the next operation, remember this: the seas belong to those with the courage to defend them, the technology to dominate them, and the will to eliminate any threat that dares challenge the principles of freedom and international law.